Hi, I'm Bill Reddick, and this is Dave Milanes. And today we're going to do a little bit about throwing runners out, how to do it effectively and how to do it consistently. Okay, stance and throwing footwork. It's real important when you're catching to have a balanced stance, all right? A lot of catchers struggle with throwing, not because they have weak arms or bad throwing mechanics, it's because they're off balance from the beginning, where they build their base in their stance. So right now, Dave's going to get down and he's going to show us a good, proper stance. Just go down into your, start from a sign, so we'll start over. Dave's going to start with a sign stance, all right, and basically he's going to give us a quick sign. And what we do is we want to roll up into our stance. So he's going to give us a quick sign. Good. He's going to set his target and sit behind the glove. Now notice, from the bottom up, his feet are pointed slightly out, his knees are bent inside, okay, and his legs are perpendicular to the ground. His arms don't rest on his knees here, and his belly button is positioned in between the V of his legs. And his sides of his stomach abs rest on top of the thighs. Head is placed squarely, directly at the pitcher. Glove is out in front. We're going to talk about how to identify a good stance and a bad stance. After you've given your sign, what we'll see young catchers do is they'll droop. They'll get their feet in the right position, but they'll droop. From here, they really can't get up to make this play. And what you're going to see as we go is they've got to pick themselves up this way rather than this way. Other things that we see in young catchers is after they get their signs, they actually point their feet towards the pitcher here. All right? And when they point their feet towards the pitcher, they have no basis to push off of. In fact, Dave, give me a push from the front. They can't really resist at all. They have no real balance, no real posture down in this position. By slightly turning the feet out here, I'm able to actually, give me a good push. I'm able to actually push back and hold my position, therefore have balance. So by turning the feet out, you're going to see more of a better balanced stance. The other thing I see in catchers is they put their feet too close. And by getting too close, they have to, when they go forward, stand up to get momentum going forward. Also, it limits their strength and their ability to get up quickly. Let's talk about throwing mechanics. Basically, throwing mechanics are universal. Whether you're a pitcher, you're an infielder, or an outfielder, you've got to do a few things. All right? First of all, you've got to start off from a balanced position. We're going to talk about the stance and the catcher stance later, but we're going to just talk real quick about how the catcher's throwing mechanics should work. Now, from a balanced position, either here or down in here, you've got to have balance throughout this entire throw. All right? As you catch the ball, we want to work from our right foot first. Our right foot moves towards the target. This is very important. If our right foot doesn't gain any ground, we're going to lose distance and time to the target. So our right foot will move toward the target. Right foot towards the target. Left foot follows and points at a 45-degree angle. Right here, our stride is to 45 degrees toward the target. Grip. All catchers should strive for a four-seam grip. This way, you always have the best spin on the ball and the seams catch the air properly. It's difficult to learn, but the best way to practice is to work on in your glove and pulling the ball out, finding the grip. Bring it out, finding the grip. Bring it out, find the grip. If you can get to four seams, you're going to be able to throw a straighter ball than if you are out here on two seams or in between. Anytime a catcher throws to a base, a target, a pitcher, he needs to take two steps. The two-step approach maximizes your balance, your strength, and makes your throw much more efficient than trying to always throw off of one foot. By two steps, what I mean is we're going to take our right foot and we're going to create a block step here. A block step basically is a perpendicular step to your target, and we're going to follow it up here with the second step. I'm always going to move right, left, no matter where I'm coming from. Our pitchers, as we get older, we would like them to hit some spots, and we also want to remember we're calling the pitch for them to get the strike and then for us to throw. So we want to give them the best target possible. So when we go to set up after we've given our sign, all right? We want to find the location, get our target, and then we're going to creep up behind the target. We're going to go on the inside pitch, we're going to go left foot up, right foot, and sit in here. On the outside pitch, we're going to go right, set the target, right foot up, left foot. Now remember, always move quietly. And you don't want to be jumping back here. A lot of good batters will pick that up. Remember, fast runners early in the lineup that get on base are good hit and run candidates. You don't want to tip off the location of the pitch here, and you don't want to actually give the batter an advantage if he knows you're coming in to get the bat head on the ball. So just set your target, give a sign, set your target, and just walk up behind, step up behind it. Good. Go to the other side. Good. Biggest challenge as a catcher is making that throw to second base. As young catchers, you really got to work on the mechanics of this throw. The more we try to muscle this throw, the more we try to force, the less effective we'll be. First off, remember, we want to start and always check to see. Make your catcher look that he's in a balanced position to start. Make sure he understands that he's just got to hit the guy in the chest. He doesn't have to put it on the money every single time. Remember, if you have a guy that can hit someone in the chest here, you've got 2 feet to 3 feet up and 2 feet to 2 to 3 feet down to miss. Always aim for the chest, no matter what. Dave, let's try it.
All right, so
Okay?
Here.
Yep. We're going to talk about the different types of footwork. The first one we're going to work on is the two-step approach. Dave's going to work on, again, in his balanced stance. All right, and we're going to feed him the ball right here. As the ball comes in, Dave's going to slightly lean into the pitch. All right, then he's going to move his right foot, then his left to the target. Notice, his hands are always here and always are staying on the target, and they didn't come apart until it's time to actually bring the body through and throw. So let's try that real quick, and I'll give you a flip. Ready? One more. Next technique is the rock and throw. For you to use this technique, you've got to have a pretty strong arm, and you've got to use it in practice. You don't want to do this for the first time in a game or a live situation. On the rock and throw, what you're going to do is you're going to catch the ball, and you're going to lean back onto your right foot, push off, and then throw. And you can see why you really need a strong arm here. You're generating all of your power, all your momentum right from here, and you've got to be able to be strong and get to a balanced position. Where you can utilize the rock and throw in an everyday situation is when you're throwing different pitches, breaking balls, change-ups, etc. I really recommend only using the rock and throw when needed. It's very taxing on your arm, and it's very difficult to do consistently. You've got to have a very strong catcher to teach this approach and for him to perform consistently at this approach. The next group of footwork for throwing to second base is a jump turn. Now, all we're doing in this position is we're actually just going to shift our feet and jump into position. And I'll show you this, and I'll show you why it's good, and I'll show you why it's bad. From a good balanced position, we sit behind our target. All right? As we catch, we jump into position here. Now, it's very quick. You get up really fast. But two things that are a negative. The direction you're moving is not towards your target. You're moving up and you're turning. You're torquing here. So as you turn here, you're going straight up and you're turning this way. If you over-rotate, which is very possible, because you're moving so quickly, you've got to make that movement back and compensate for that over-rotation. Also, by moving straight up, you're taking your momentum this way, then this way. Two separate movements here. So try to just really curtail your use of that. It is very quick, It's also very effective actually as a fake. If you're going to fake a runner to come up real quick and fake. Better to do it like that than to actually try to throw off of that position. Having the proper distance from the batter is important. Remember, this throw to second base is 120 feet plus to get it there. From back there, we're at least another 4 feet to it. So if we're at 123, 3¾ inches, we're looking at 127 to 128 feet, depending upon where you set. Where the catcher wants to be, when he sets his target and his feet, all right, set your target, set your feet, he wants to be about arm's length from the hitter. And this way, the hitter will move forward, okay, and out of the catcher's way, as you can see here. The hitters move forward. As he makes his move, he can get beyond the catcher without being injured. Now, while you're doing this, all right, you need to practice this. You can't just go in the game and start touching the other players. All right? So in batting practice, work on your distance. All right? Remember, we all aren't working on the greatest manicured fields either. So keep the dirt behind the plate as level as possible. It'll help you get closer. And if you need to get close, just make sure that that batter, if you sense that batter is a little too close to you or swings a little long, give yourself some extra room. All right? Remember, if you get in his way of his swing, he gets the base. Now Dave and I are going to work on throws to third base. It would be real nice if the batter moved out of our way so we could throw down to third, but unfortunately the batters aren't that accommodating. So we've got to work on footwork that'll get us around the batter, but keep us in balance and keep us in line with the target. So Dave's going to set up behind me for an inside pitch. Okay? Okay, you can see Dave is inside my stance here. As the pitch comes in, we'll notice the runner breaking here. All right? Dave's back foot's going to fall back behind his lead foot, and then he's going to step towards the base here. All right? Notice he's inside of my stance here. As the ball goes in, he's going to fall back. That back foot's going to fall behind his lead foot, then he's going to stride towards the target here. He's completely clear of the hitter, and he's got a room to throw. The other thing to notice here, he's got angle and position towards the target. He's going to be able to hit that target here and throw to the target at third base. On an outside pitch, we're going to do this a little differently. We cannot move this way. The pitch is going to take us into the path of the batter. So on the outside pitch, Dave's going to set up outside here. Ball comes in. His right foot's going to jab forward. He's going to spring on this foot here, come forward, clear the batter, and then go to the base. As you can see, the batter will have strode in here. Whether he swung or not, Dave is still free of the batter, and he can throw to the base. Another point is, we talked about the batter, you interfering with the batter. Let's talk about the batter interfering with you. If you have a runner that's stealing second and a batter gets anxious and falls across the plate, I'd recommend that you go right at him and throw into him. A lot of times you'll get that call because it's a very quick call for the umpire to make. All right, let's try it, Dave. No ball for this one. On that play there, if the batter gets in your way, you've got a good opportunity or a good chance that he's going to call that runner at second base out. Same thing goes for third base. A lot of times you'll see a batter do this. Ready? And try to block you out. Maybe not intentionally. If you see that and you don't have a chance at the runner, continue your throw. Try to get a piece of that batter. It's good insurance, and you never know. You might get the call. Now we're going to work on different throws to first base, mainly for pickoffs. All right? I recommend that anytime you try to pick off a runner, whether it's a set play or a surprise play, two things need to be there. You've got to have a good grip on the ball, meaning you've caught the ball and you've made the transfer into your hand. Secondly, is you've got to have a play. If your runner is back, if your fielder is out of position, do not throw the ball. Any of those things don't exist, this play is an optional play. If those things are not in place, you do not need to make this play. You really don't want to make a mistake on this play here. You're looking to get an out anywhere, but you don't want to wind up with a runner in scoring position when you had a runner in first base. Picking off runners at first base. Basically, there's two approaches. One is a jab step, and the other is replacing your feet. All right? On the jab step, we can use this when there's a right-handed batter and a left-handed batter. And on the replacing the feet, we really only want to use this when there's a right-handed batter. Generally, we want to try to make this play with a right-handed batter. Your view is unobstructed. You have a good idea of what your fielders are doing. There's no batter here to obstruct you from either seeing the runner and or your fielders. So the two approaches I said, with the jab step, all right, from our balanced position, we're going to catch the ball here, and we're going to take our step towards our target here. Turn on that pivot foot and throw. All right? If we reel that back a little bit, what I'm doing here is my jab step is here to the ball of my foot. I'm turning this way, and I'm going to pivot here and bring my left foot into position here behind my right. Glove is on the target, eyes, and then get the ball to the target as fast as possible. Foot replacement. Traditional foot replacement is just as you think. You replace your right foot with your left. So it would be more of this fashion here. Back, then forward. I say we're going to take that one step further. Okay? After we've set up, I want to gain some ground towards my target here. I want this throw to be 90 feet or less, not 91 or more. So here it says I catch the ball, I'm going to step forward towards home plate, then move my feet towards the target. Thereby I gain a foot or more at least to the target. From the old foot replacement method here, it is very quick, but I still lose about a foot. And on this play, a foot means everything. So just to take that back, I want to use my right foot as the lead foot here. I'm going to move it towards home plate. So I catch right, left, sturdy position, throw. All right. On a ball to left field, the catcher's going to come on up out of the, get in position, square off to the fielder. All right. You catch the ball, drop the knee, look for the next play. Ball to center field. Catcher comes out, squares up, good positioning of the feet, good balance. Shuffles down, drops the knee, shuffles out. Okay, the traditional approach here from right field, body, shoulder square to the thrower. Ball comes in, turns in, glove down, comes up, thrown. Play from behind the plate, giving the catcher some better visual of the entire field, especially on balls in the far right corner into the right center gap. Catcher stays behind home plate, sees the ball. As the throw is coming in, catcher steps onto the playing field here. Ball comes in, stays down on it, drops the knee, good. Important part of the game here is fielding bunts. Proper technique on fielding bunts is key. A lot of times we'll make a great play, we'll get out to the ball, and we'll simply just not be able to throw the ball properly to the base because we're off balance or not in the proper position. Three ways the ball can go. Obviously, it's up the middle, right, or left. When the ball is up the first base line, the proper technique is not to move directly towards the ball, but we want to loop around the baseball. So we go out to the outside of the baseball here, and what we're going to do is we're going to try to get the ball in the center of our feet. All right? Obviously, this ball could be rolling a little bit. We want to use our glove to shovel that ball back into our hand here. Now, from this position here, I always want to keep my hands together. Never want to break my hands. The big key for that is when I break my hands here, my glove hand goes off of the target. With my glove hand off of the target, I'm going to wind up with my shoulder open and not be able to make the play. From here, I shuffle my feet right, left, glove on the target, eyes, ball. On balls towards the middle of the field, we have an option. Depending upon how fast the play is presenting himself, or depending upon the runners. If we have a play potentially that could be at second or third base, you would want to go directly at this ball up the middle. Now, if you have no play, let's say, or your play is now to first base, it's just as easy to turn and throw to first from here as it is if you were to loop around that pitch. So it's truly an option for you to try and something that'll help you make that play a little faster. Where it might pay off big is when you've blocked the pitch that's right in front of you, here. When you've come down and block it, and you go right up at it here, and you can either find the play in front of you here, or turn and go to first there. Transfer. I want to talk about transferring the ball. A lot of people get confused here. What we've been taught in many instances is what we call a bow and arrow, pull the ball back, or back to bring the ball to your ear. Well, in any time we throw, we want to move towards the target. So we want to get that momentum going towards the target. When I transfer the ball, or when a player transfers the ball here, he wants to keep that ball where he caught it. And what I mean here is this. On a high pitch, it shows up very easily. If I catch a high pitch here, I want to move my body and keep this arm here and rotate and bring my body to that point. So in essence, I'm diverting the path of that ball here. When I make my glove action and catch the ball here, my body moves right to where that ball is. Now, it does appear that I'm bringing the action back, but in essence, my glove really never moves from that point where I caught the ball. And I'm right there, and now I'm in a good position to throw. That's on the high pitch. On the low pitch, it's a little harder. We want to do something very similar, but we've got to reach sometimes for that low pitch. So on the low pitch, same thing here. We're catching the ball, and we're going to hold this side firm and bring our body up to that point. So our body is going to come to the point where we've caught the ball. The same kind of guidelines apply that we just talked about for the transfer. But when they're to our right and our left, we've just got to adjust our body as such that we're able to make that play and also keep our balance. In order to catch a pitch to your glove side, all we really need to do is we've got to get our glove out to the ball. And we want our body to follow it, but we're going to bring that glove into the center here. We're going to bring our body here, and we're going to try to keep that glove in the same spot. On the high pitch, again, it's the easiest one to do it for our glove side because it's right here, and our body can go right behind it. When the ball's a little lower here, we've got to get out here and bring our body around to get it. Now, on an outside pitch, we're going to have a little bit of a tougher time here. We've got to catch that ball here and bring it up to the top. We talked about different locations. Now let's talk about different pitches. The breaking ball in particular is a very hard pitch to throw. We've got a downward break from a right-handed pitcher going away from our momentum. We want to move this way towards the base, towards our target at second, and the ball is moving away. So what we've got to do is we've really got to understand that on every breaking ball, the runner is going to have an opportunity here to get a base on us. We don't like it. We shouldn't like it. But the runner has got a chance to steal a base on you. The way you can get this guy out is if you perform properly and deliver. Anything can happen on this play. All right, so on the breaking ball, down in this position here, you're going to stay back. You've got to make sure you make the catch here. You don't want to have a squibbler here, especially with other runners running the bases. Make the catch here, come up, 1, 2, and throw. Now, on the breaking ball, we talked about the rock and throw. Again, don't leave too soon. If you leave too soon, you're going to leave the ball down and not be able to make the transfer. So on the breaking ball here, catch it whole, hold the stiff arm, come up and throw. On rock and throw, same thing. Catch it here, back, and throw. We talked about breaking pitches and changeups. We teach our pitchers to throw our breaking pitches and changeups in the strikes or out of the strike zone in the dirt. We've got to be prepared for this. Now, if you're going to go into a game situation, you've got to practice this a few times, and we're going to give you a drill or two later on to practice this. But in essence, when you're going to make a throw here, you've got to know for sure you can glove this ball and keep it in front of you here. And a changeup is a great pitch to try this on. Now, in the back of your mind, your approach on these off-speed pitches has to be ball first. That means if the pitch is so bad that that's not going to make the plate, you've got to block it. So in the back of your mind, just keep in mind on these pitches, the ball first is the main priority. If you're here and the ball's bouncing at 59 feet, you've got to get down and block that pitch. Don't get trapped in the idea that you're going to throw this guy out. Remember, you know the pitch is coming. The runner doesn't. So prepare your mind here. Get yourself prepared. Block the pitch, keep the ball in front, make catching the ball the first priority, then throw the runner out. We're going to demonstrate some footwork and some technique on pitch outs. Remember, as a catcher, two things. You cannot leave the box, the catcher's area, until the pitcher begins his movement towards home plate. Also, you cannot catch the ball in front of the plane of home plate. So, as the pitcher comes down and through his stride, Dave will pop up. So the pitcher's out. Notice his left foot is slightly in front of his right foot. He's in a good ready stance. Eyes are on the pitcher. He's going to catch the ball here, right, left, and throw. Now he's gotten some distance in front of home plate. He shortened up the throw a bit, so now he's going to have a good opportunity to throw the batter out. On a left-handed batter, it's about the same. So Dave's going to demonstrate once again. Ball comes in here. Notice he shuffled out into the left-handed batter's box. Now he's going to shuffle forward. Okay? Key on the left side here is to make sure we get out in front and give ourselves a square position. We're going to shuffle out, catch, 1, 2, and throw. On the left side, on the right-handed batter, we want to just make sure that we step out and position ourselves in the middle of the batter's box. It's a little harder here because you've got to actually take that step out and up. Whereas on this one, we kind of can shuffle a little forward, catch it, and get into position to throw. Every catcher wants to throw every runner out, but we've got to realize it's just not possible. There's many variables that go into it. Pitches, pitcher's delivery, runner speed, your ability to make the catch and throw, and also how anxious you are to make the play. When I talk to young catchers, I like to see that fire, but I also like them to have a little bit of poise with that. So I tell them, be aggressive and be ready on every play, but be poised. You don't want to be jumping around. As a young catcher, I had that problem. I was so anxious to throw everyone out, I used to jump around a lot. Learned as I got older, if you just kind of hang out back there, you're going to be a little more poised and ready, and then be able to make all the plays you need. On behalf of Coach's Choice, we really appreciate your investment in this video. I'm Bill Reddick, and on behalf of Dave Milanes, thank you very much.